Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Hare Krishna, welcome to our channel Bhagavad-gita. Here it is. We have Bhagavad-gita here, Bhagavad-gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my name is Lavanga Latika. We have come to the 6th chapter, Jnana Yoga, and I will read text 3. Arurukshurmunir yogang karma karanamuchyate yoga rudhasya tasyeva shamakaranamuchyate. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Purport. The process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called yoga. It may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. According to various elevations, different parts of the ladder are known by different names, but all in all, the complete ladder is called yoga, and may be divided into 3 parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called the Yoga Rurukshu stage, and the highest rung is called Yoga Rudha. Concerning, let me see if those words are in there. No. Concerning the eightfold yoga system, attempts in the beginning to enter into meditation through regulative principles of life and practice of different sitting postures, which are more or less bodily exercises, are considered fruitive material activities. All such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. A Krishna-conscious person, however, is situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna, and, being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have ceased all material activities. Yes, so therefore, sometimes Krishna consciousness seems a little simple. We have that example when Lord Chaitanya, who was Krishna coming to this world 500 years ago, traveling around India and meeting with some Mayavadi sannyasis, and they asked him, he said, "You're a young, intelligent sannyasi, why are you hanging with those bhaktas who are just singing and dancing sentimentally, crying? Why are you not with us studying the Vedanta?" So they were doing Jnana Yoga, they were studying the Vedanta, and we have Dhyana Yoga, those who are practicing focused meditation to actually give up the physical bodily consciousness and turn inwards. And they may sometimes look at the bhaktas, the persons performing devotional service, and say, "That looks a little simple. Why are you not serious like us, doing hard work?" And yes, but why are you doing hard work? To achieve self-realization, to become freed from the material concept, to become realized in our spiritual identity. And then you look at a devotee on the perfect platform of pure realized Krishna consciousness. We read the stories of Krishna when he lived here. He had a mother, and she would wake him up in the morning, and she would bathe him, and she would dress him. She would give him, make food for him. She would worry when he went out to watch after the cows with the cowherd boys, that he would step on hard stones or hurt himself in the hot sun, and then he'd come home and she would tell him, "You have to eat now or you will be sick." And she didn't think of God, and she didn't sit down to meditate, but she could think of nothing else but Krishna because she loved him so much. That is the perfection of Bhakti Yoga, not some mechanical achievement. It looks very impressive. I've seen this, somebody was traveling and filming these yogis covered in ashes and in posture, standing on one hand, year after year, becoming very old, very impressive. But what Krishna is trying to impress upon us here is that the goal is not to do some impressive activity. It is not to achieve some level of spiritual enjoyment. That yoga, how to say, that Brahman level of realizing one's spiritual identity, it is not exactly joyful in a spiritual sense, but it is the complete freedom from all material sufferings. So it's an impressive thing. But the perfection is a natural thing. It's that love for Krishna. Mother Yashoda has it. The gopis, the coward girls in Braj has it. The boys, the coward boys who are playing with Krishna and sometimes stealing his lunch bags, they have it. So that is that is the actual level of self-realization that is accessible to us. So therefore it's good to understand all the other things too, but we have to understand there is one principle. Like the Vedas have many regulative principles, how we live our lives, what we do, what we don't do. But it's said that the main rule is always remember Krishna, never forget him. And all the other rules, they are just there to assist those basic rules. So in the beginning, it's a practice, and therefore it's a rule. But in the end, it becomes a natural thing. And then it looks very simple. Mother Yashoda, she's boiling some milk for Krishna. You know, it doesn't look any different than any other mother boiling the milk. The difference is the perfection of life. And that's something that Bhagavad-gita, going through the different chapter, which focuses on different things, is bringing us there, bringing our understanding there, our practice there, and our consciousness there. I will read one text more. Text 4. Yada hinendriyarteshu na karmasvanusajyate sarvasankalpasanyasi yoga rudhastadochyate. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when, having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. Purport. When a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself, and thus he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive activities. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratifications, since one cannot live without engagement. Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. But a Krishna-conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna and thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the top rung of the yoga ladder. So here we have a little more explanation of the difference between yoga and perfection of yoga, because Krishna consciousness means self-realization. Just like at night in a dark room, we can't see ourselves. But when the sun rises, we see the sun and ourselves. So Krishna consciousness means that we become conscious of Krishna and ourselves in connection of Krishna in a natural way. But if we're not there yet, it's good to have all this knowledge. It's good to understand these yogic processes. But what Krishna wants us to get to the point where we realize that Krishna consciousness is actually better. And this is a little bit taboo. If you're following a religion, you can't say my religion is better. So that's actually not what I'm saying. But all these religions that we know, they do come from God, because religion, it's like a interface between spirituality and culture. So whatever culture we are in, there we can always access God consciousness by connecting to that religion, which is which we can relate to according to our cultural identification. But the goal of all the religions and the goal of all the yogas is to realize who we are in relationship to God on a level of loving service. So that level is the best level. it is not limited to one religion or another religion. It just happens to be the perfection of all the religions. And if we can see that one process within one process, that goal is easier to achieve, then we could call that process better. But it's only better as far as you're able to perform it. So if somebody, due to cultural identifications or level of advancements, level of attachments, so on, are not able to perform that process, then of course it's not better for that person. Better you perform the process you can perform. But the goal is the same. We are all part and parcels of God. We all have a natural identity as His loving servants, and we actually all have the right to reach out for that. And that we can do in all the religions, in all the processes. It is just that Bhakti Yoga is not a process to reach a goal. It is the actual goal. Bhakti, love of God, is the actual goal. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.